Hey, thanks for slithering in. I am Symtherin and welcome back to my channel and to another speed build in The Sims 4. For you guys it's been a week. For me it's been about 3 weeks since I've actually sat down and talked to you guys because the last few videos were pre-recorded and then work got a little crazy. I did some little traveling for like a couple of days. And then, of course, the whole next week was recovery week, where I just did not want to do anything because traveling takes a lot out of me. Anyway, enough about me. Let's kind of check out the build, but I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Hope you had a great Easter weekend if you celebrate. If not, I hope you had a great weekend, week, month, whatever you want to call it. And I hope you're enjoying spring because where I'm at, the weather is finally nice enough where I don't have to wear my big old winter jacket. So we are excited about that. Anywho, if at any point you find yourself enjoying this video and you feel inclined to do so, give it a big old thumbs up. It really does help me out. And then hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, all of those things. Here's the pop-up now. I jumped the gun a little bit. But yeah, any of those actions really helps push my videos out to more people and hopefully more friends for you guys, because I know I love meeting new people and a lot of people I've met were in the comment section of other people's videos sometimes, which is kind of funny how that happens, but you know, that's how the world goes round. We got a network, right? Anyway, this build is really coming together, so I should probably start talking about that. This one is for a collab. I think I've mentioned before I have a few collabs kind of out there, and there's a couple more in the next month or two, at least 2 more that I'm thinking off the top of my head. So I hope you guys are excited for that. I know I am, lots of creative themes and all that stuff. But anyway, this build here. This build is for the new Crest 2.0 save file, and this collab was hosted by the Sims Creatives over on Instagram, and if you guys aren't following them, make sure you go check them out along with all of the other amazing talented builders, because guys, there are so many of us and there's so many of you, honestly. I should say, like, this community is just beyond creative and amazing, and I enjoy that because there are times like this past week that I felt like I lost my mojo. I felt like I really had it there for a minute, you know? And I was like pumping out stuff and everything was looking great and I felt so good about everything. And then, you know, sometimes we do get that creative burnout, and I did have some creative burnout. So what was I going with that? Oh, I was saying I love this community so much. We're all so creative. All of you guys are super creative, and I love it because I can scroll through Twitter or Instagram or YouTube or Twitch or you name it, Pinterest, all of the above, and just instantly be inspired by something you guys are working on. And I love it. That's the best. And then I instantly always want to be like, I need to get to my PC stat because I need to build now. And that's not always the case, but when we can, we do, right? If you guys remember a couple of videos ago, it was for the Flower Power collab. I actually built on this same lot. So I did mention it in that video too, that I couldn't like believe that for 2 collabs I picked the same lot. Definitely not on purpose, and I regretted it because it's such a big lot, guys. Oh my god. And if you know me, I like to stay on the smaller side because my patience runs thin. Although I really am trying to kind of like be okay with space and empty space, and that's why big builds are really hard for me. But this one came out pretty cute. It is a family home, so I think I'm calling it established family home, and I figure they're pretty well off in their careers and their life. I don't have like too much of a backstory as far as what I believe the parents do for work. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I really don't think I had that at all. But we just skipped a little bit because I did have to cut a lot of this out. This video is long, guys. Let me tell you. When I was editing this, I said, oh my god. And then I was like, I want to keep almost everything in because I like to show the whole process, besides floor plans, because that makes me so nervous. But I'm working on that. But I really like showing the whole process, and I didn't want to choose between exterior or interior. And the footage I did end up with, I feel like, is pretty important for the build in general. Like, I did cut out a lot of the landscaping. As you can see, I did different colors of grass here to make the lawn everywhere look freshly mowed. So that's where the established part, I figured maybe they have a lawn service. I don't think anyone would mow all of this on their own. Maybe they would. Maybe the mom or the dad or whomever actually finds it therapeutic. I'm sure some people are out there who are like that, not me. But here is a little play area, and I'm adding these bikes around from the Growing Together pack, but actually that was one of the packs we could not use. So those, if you get the save file, those will not be in this build. They'll probably just be either gone or replaced with something else. And then what else? Yeah, but if you want those items, you can go onto my gallery. My gallery ID is Symtherin, the same as it is here, and on all social platforms. And yeah, you can give me a follow there too if you want. There's perks to being followed to me on the gallery because I tend to, or I try to, upload builds way before, like pretty much right after I'm done with them. Otherwise I will forget, and maybe some of you have even already, because I think there's been a few who will see a build of mine here on YouTube or Instagram or somewhere and say, hey, I couldn't find this on the gallery. Is it there? Am I missing something? And now let's say this build has been out for or completed for months. I think this just happened recently. There was a pastel apartment I did when the pastel pop kit came out, and someone commented like literally 2 days ago, like, where is it? I can't find it. And then I went and looked and I was like, yeah, it's not there because I didn't upload it. Sorry. So if that ever happens, guys, I don't take offense. Please tell me. I am only human. I try my hardest to make sure it's up there in time, but you know, we're human. It happens. We forget things. So in this part of the house, I mean, I didn't put like a garage, but I guess this would be considered a garage or a storage area. I do put laundry, but it wouldn't make sense to call it a garage because you can't drive a car up to it or into it. As you can probably tell by the exterior of the build and the fact that there are 2 doors and not a garage door. So I decided to put laundry here because I tend to forget those in my builds, and cluttered it up with garage type things. We have the ping pong table. Gosh, we don't have pool tables. We need pool tables. We have bike storage. I think only one of those bikes ends up staying. They don't like the tool mod very well. As you can see, I'm struggling, but that's the thing. I'll try and remember that next time. And what else? Yeah, we just clutter it up with some things. I actually really do like it and enjoyed cluttering it up. And now I feel like I'm starting to ramble already. So as I mentioned, I have not sat down to do a voiceover in about 3 weeks. Maybe longer? No, I think about 3 weeks. And I find it funny how I decided that my first one back after, you know, long time of not doing it. Usually, I mean, maybe some of you can relate who also make YouTube videos and do voiceovers and things. If you wait a while or a long time in between videos, it kind of feels like you're starting over again. Or maybe that's just me, but it's hard, guys. It's hard. I'm like, I don't know what to talk to you about. Like, why are you even here? But I mean, stay, because yeah, I like that you're here, and it really means a lot. Anyway, it's been 3 weeks, and I thought it was funny that the first video I decided to do is a video that is super long. I'm looking at this total here, and right now it's sitting at 36 minutes, and like I said, I didn't really want to cut a lot of stuff out, so hopefully you don't mind. Of course, feel free to skip around. You do not have to watch all of it. It's a lot, I know, and I don't know if anyone really cares about my rambling. I mean, if you do, cool, but I know some people might not. So, but there is a video tour at the end that you can always skip to if you just want to see the finished build. Totally get it. I mean, I've done it. Sometimes I don't have enough time and I'm like, oh, okay, I need to get going, but I want to see the whole build. So, you know, you do you, and yeah, either way, I appreciate you being here. It took me a really long time to figure out, like, the color scheme-ish here, and I still don't even think I would call it a color scheme. I mean, some rooms have more green, some have more yellow, some have more black and whites. It's just kind of how it happened, but the wallpaper was a struggle for me, like huge struggle. I went through so many options, guys. Oh my god, if I had left all that in, this would have been like 2 hours long, I swear. But I'm glad I stopped recording that, and I actually started here with the entryway, because when I'm struggling, I really was struggling with this living room here. Whenever I'm struggling like that in a build, I'm like, okay, where I need to find a corner, just a small space where I can start just putting stuff. And I was like, well, this entryway, I can start there, you know, figure it out. We've got some clutter, some plants, a little shelf, a shoe rack, a mirror. I like that I put the little mail and key holder on top of this mirror, kind of like a, I don't know, built-in shelf up there, but you can't really see the keys. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. And I'm using the red shelf here. I need to remember to add that in my description because I started using it more often recently. I've kind of always had it in my game, but I never really used it, but I've been actually enjoying using it lately. As much as I love the tool mod, sometimes there's things where you're like, I just don't feel like pulling up the tool mod menu for something so minuscule, if that makes sense. So the red shelf really does come in handy for those little items that maybe would be floating if you just use the 9 and 0 keys on your keyboard and stuff. But here we are trying to figure out what the heck to do with this living room. I do different TVs. I was like, fireplace? No, the fireplaces, I didn't like any of the ones that I had to choose from. I either thought they were too modern or too traditional, and then I ended up with these dream home decorator shelves, and I usually don't use these because they usually have like a harsh shadow, and I usually can't stand it. But I think for this build it kind of worked, and I'm changing out some of the pieces, and I end up getting like a wooden board from, it's either Dine Out or Cats and Dogs or Get Together. No, not Get Together. No, maybe Get Together. One of those, guys. I don't remember, but here it is. Can I see it? Oh, it is from Dine Out. Okay, I was able to see it. And then it kind of just filled in this back plate. Like, I guess you can call it a back plate. And I put some lights, I think, from Spa Day. But of course I had to remove the wall in order to get the TV up here. And these are the lights I use. I just sized them down. I think I ended up using the tool mod because it was getting a little difficult to get them exactly where I wanted them to be. But we managed. I guess this is some other stuff I probably could have cut out. But hopefully you're enjoying the process a little bit and maybe learning from it, because that's how I've learned a lot from, you know, building in The Sims, is from watching other people here on YouTube and kind of seeing what they do. And I think I've heard a lot of other people say that as well, which honestly is another reason why I love this community. We can just learn from each other and take ideas and build off of those ideas and make it our own, and it's just super fun. But I'm gonna stop gushing about this community, okay? I promise. Here we are trying to figure out what couch we want to use and what combo of couches we want to use, but whenever I struggle picking out a couch, I tend to lean into the Dream Home Decorator sofas, like the modular sofas that you can see here I'm trying to play with. And I don't think I keep this black, which I'm trying to figure out why I didn't, because now that I'm watching, I kind of like the black sofa, but I end up going green. Oh, well, anyway. Sometimes I regret some of the choices I make. I mean, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. You guys can let me know in the comments down below. Speaking of in the comments down below, if you guys have any build suggestions, definitely let me know if there's anything you want to see me tackle. That could be a challenge, that could be like a theme for a home, or do you have like a family you're playing with that you would like a home for? I mean, anything, storyline, just let me know, because I'm always looking for more ideas. I've been trying to like plan a lot in advance, especially with kind of how unpredictable my work stuff is. And you see, here I am again putting growing together things in this build, and why didn't I remove it? Is that growing together or is that base game? I think that's growing. I don't remember what was in the update anymore. I can't tell the difference. But we are finally onto a different room. We're in the kitchen, which I think came out pretty decent. We got obviously our fridge, our stove, our island. We're gonna do, I think I put the sink in there, I do, and some cabinets, and we cluttered this up as well. I'm playing with different tile, but I end up keeping this tile, this checkered tile. So I think it worked, at least well enough. But yeah, we made sure we get some clutter in here. I merged this shelf here into the sink because I always felt like it looked weird sometimes with the sink just kind of on the counter like that, or on the island counter with no separation. And I wanted to put stools here just in case your sim wanted to eat here. There's a lot of seating spaces for your sims to eat and do homework. Maybe this could even be like a 100 baby challenge home. The bedrooms aren't really set up for it, but you can probably definitely make it one if you prefer. I mean, I wouldn't stop you. It's your game. But I thought adding this little bread box with a little painting in there was cool, because in a little while we're gonna go to like this little study area, office, study, playroom type combo deal, and I put one of the activity tables. So I figure one of the kids is very much into drawing and being very creative, you know, those kinds of things. Yeah, definitely more clutter. I'm trying to liven up the back of this here, and this is probably something else I could have gotten rid of. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing here. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, I'm a little out of practice, but we're moving on now. We do have a dining room, but I also wanted like a little breakfast table, because I feel like in homes like this, at least homes that are pretty well established, you have your dining room, but in the kitchen you also have like a little breakfast table, and that's probably a place where, you know, you hang out, drink your coffee, eat your breakfast, and then the dining room is where you have your more big family meals at the end of the day, or when you have company over, like a dinner party. And you know, those kinds of things, you know, I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't have a dining room and or a breakfast table. I mean, I have a dining space, but it's an open concept kind of thing, kitchen, living, dining. So nothing to write home about, I guess. I don't know why I'm telling you the layout of my home. That's the thing. But we're moving now on to the dining room. And I think I was leaning in a lot to some of the cats and dogs items. I know I used the lamps in the kitchen, and those kind of come their way to the dining room and as well to the bedrooms upstairs, because why not, right? But the dining room here is pretty simple. I don't really think I put too much. It's a really small space, so I wanted to make sure it could be functional. These curtains were driving me bonkers because every time I loaded back into the game, they were gone. Like a couple from here and a couple from the study room and one from the kitchen. But I have since fixed it and tested it. I think it's because I was using the tool mod. But I ended up just moving the windows out of the way, putting the curtains where I wanted them to be, and then putting the wall back. And that seemed to do the trick because I left the build and then came back and the curtains didn't go anywhere. So I was actually pretty stoked about that. I was like, oh, thank God. So something I did cut out of this video were the bathrooms, except for I think the master bathroom upstairs. But this one here stays unseen. I mean, you'll see it in the tour, but I don't show you me building it or decorating it. It's a pretty simple bathroom. But here we have the activity table, and on this side of the room we are going to have a desk. So maybe if you're one of the parent Sims, maybe works from home sometimes or all the time, this could be a good space. Or maybe they're a writer and they hang out here while their kid is doing their work or art and whatnot. Kind of a multi-purpose room to get things done while also watching your kid. But now that I think about it, if you work from home and watch your kid at the same time, it would kind of be hard, especially maybe depending on how old the kid is, to work while your kid is in the same room. That could be difficult because I know in my experience, sometimes that is very difficult when you have a dog and a cat in your room and all they want is your attention, and you're like, bro, I'm literally working right now so that I can feed you and buy you treats and toys and spoil you rotten, but you're making it very difficult to do this right now, so you need to leave. That was pretty, I don't know, passive aggressive, I don't know. But here I'm actually using the sofas from my first pet stuff, and I don't think I've ever used them before, but I've seen other people use them, and I've always been jealous of people who were able to use them and pull them off. So I was like, let me see if it works, and I kind of like it. And I even used 2 different swatches to kind of like make it a little different looking-ish, and I like how it came out. Anyway, we have just jumped right into the master bathroom here, or main bathroom, whatever. So this one is kind of like a lot more lighthearted and zen, more so than the rest of the build. And I'm gonna tell you why. I imagined that this was newly redone, that the parents were like, we need just a nice, clean, peaceful spot for ourselves where we can lock the door and no one will bother us. And this is that room, because I know I really want a fancy bathroom. I dream of one with a jacuzzi tub and a rainfall shower head, and yeah, my hotel actually, when I traveled, had a rainfall shower head. I geeked out so much over a freaking shower head, and maybe it's embarrassing, maybe that's just adulthood, but yeah, it was really cool. I enjoyed it. I miss it. That's the only thing I miss. Anyway, I completely finished this bathroom, And then I was actually decorating the one that the two kids that I'll talk about in a little bit share. And I put down the toilet and I was like, wait a second. So as you can see, there's no toilet currently. But don't worry, I moved that mirror into the bedroom. We keep that mirror because Jungle Adventure mirror, chef's kiss, right? But that's where we put the toilet. So don't worry. In total, we have 3 bathrooms, which is probably just perfect because I imagine like 4 Sims here. And yeah, here we are in the parents' bedroom. We got more shelves with clutter. We've got, I also feel like this room is pretty zen and peaceful. I would sleep here. I really would. But I mean, I think I would sleep anywhere. I really like sleep anyway. We're just cluttering it up, but not too much clutter. I figured this room was pretty clean considering, you know, the rest of the house probably can get pretty messy. And some storage on this dresser here. I really don't think it's that complicated of a bedroom. So yeah, what else do I not add into this build? I do decorate the hallway I do another little seating area, and nothing too fancy, just somewhere else to watch TV, I guess, because I think that's always good to have in these large family builds, because maybe our kids want to watch cartoons but mom and dad want to watch a horror film or something. So you need to have 2 TVs, right? I guess. But I guess about the kids a little bit, because I think those are the rooms we're going to go hang out next. I was sitting there racking my brain about their personalities, because I feel like especially for kids' rooms, you kind of need to have a rough idea of the kids. So I told my boyfriend, I was like, look, I want to have a toddler and maybe an older kid. I just don't know how old. But I need some ideas for their bedroom, like give me a theme. And then he said, oh, maybe the one could be a teenager who's like, either she is or wants to be a TikTok influencer type deal. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And then he's like, and the other, and then I interrupted him and said, and the other could be a toddler who loves dinosaurs. So I kind of just took one of his ideas and then didn't even care about getting any more ideas from him. But I appreciate him because he's so supportive. So thank you, boyfriend, if you're watching. I know sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but that's okay. Sometimes, usually you do, but you don't have the sound on and you kind of just watch just to get the views. And I mean, if that's how we got to do it, I mean, I appreciate a view. I won't lie. Although we should have beef with him because he never watches it when he signed in, so he can't like the video. And I'm like, dude, that's like really helpful if you actually like the video. Like, that's huge. And he's like, oh yeah. I'm like, whatever, I'll take the view. Anyway, I'm gonna stop complaining about that. Here's the teenagers room. And I definitely wanted to go like very pastel pop, very high school years. I put these stickers on the window thinking like maybe when she was a kid, she just had like a sticker obsession. So she put stickers everywhere. I mean, it wasn't even everywhere. I felt like we needed more stickers. But a neon light for vibes, and this mirror, of course, I had to have it in here. And pretty much that's it, I think. Well, of course, except for the gaming setup, because of course she is on the internet, so she probably streams or something. So we put a little gaming spot in the other corner and a camera, kind of imagining like me, or a tripod camera combo, like imagining that that's where she would set up her phone to film her TikToks kind of situation. Although where I placed it, it kind of shoots towards her bed, and when I was doing like the video tour, I was like, I don't know if that's the best place for it, but I left it, so you guys can be the judge there, I guess. But here I actually did use, I think that's the desk from my first pet stuff too, so I imagine maybe she hasn't quite yet moved on from some of her childhood furniture. And that's where that desk was. Maybe, you know, sometimes when you're growing up, right, you kind of use what's you have forever, or at least I know that's what I did. I mean, we weren't in a place to just up and redecorate my room every time we had a life stage change. Although in The Sims we pretty much can. It's pretty easy, but it is what it is. Anyway, here we are working on the Dino Toddler room, and we're actually almost done with the video, so just deal with me for a few more minutes, I guess. We're almost there, I promise. But this is a toddler, maybe pretty young toddler, just aged up toddler kind of thing. But I imagined they really like dinosaurs because how cute, and because I wanted to use this rug. So we of course have dinosaur decals, we have the Dino Toddler bed here, and I think it's pretty simple, and then we just kind of clutter it up, make sure there's toys. I do add like a sleeping bag here, so maybe the kid has night terrors or nightmares and he gets scared sometimes, so either mom or dad or maybe even sister will come in here, even though that's a kid's sleeping bag, but you get the idea, right? They just come in here and hang out. Or sleepovers. That could be a thing too. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go because we are at the end of the video, and if you watch this whole one, you are the real MVP, and I want you to type in the comments below pineapple. I'll know what you mean, but anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the video tour, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye! bye.